I'm Nate.
And this is our channel, Weight Loss What Works, where every week we try a different diet and exercise plan and see what works.
So last week we did a diet regimen of laying off anything that had gluten and also the T25 workout plan.
Gluten-free. What did you think?
It was there's a lot of difficulty in just realizing what actually does have gluten. Because there are so many things that I thought I just basically knew, like, this doesn't have gluten, and then it was like, oh no, wait, this totally does.
You need to quit looking at the left.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Alright. Yeah, I think the hardest part is as long as you don't go out to eat, because otherwise it's going to be a whole new ball game. But I didn't go out at all, at least. But as long as you don't go out, the hardest part is going to be like going grocery shopping. Because once you have your groceries and you know that none of them have gluten, like for me it was really easy. Like Sunday when I had to buy the food, I was like, does soda have gluten? Which I know, like logically, you're like, of course it doesn't. But when we started, it was like, you know, I'm reading articles and they're like, normally ketchup doesn't have gluten. I'm like, why would that have gluten? And it's like, I didn't know soy sauce can have gluten. I didn't know that, you know, so it's like everything is like, I didn't know that could have gluten. So you become so unsure by the time you go to the grocery store that you, like, there's a little app where you can scan for gluten. And you just end up scanning random things because you're like, does it have gluten? It might have gluten. I don't know anymore. I don't know anything. But like once you have it, I think it's really easy.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, I think in combination with also our workout, like I did see some results, but overall the gluten thing was more difficult when like I was with a group of people, and it's like, you know, like if you have like a game night or something, you know, it's like, and we always order pizza, and it's like, and I have to get the gluten-free pizza, and all I can say about that is I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, and I think it's harder when you don't have celiac disease to do that because your friends are going to judge you. They're going to be like, you don't eat gluten? That's for celiac. Do you have celiac? You're like, no. I swear like, I don't know, I felt like I would have to justify it. I don't want to have to justify my diet to people.
Oh, I just snuck it sneakily into.
I know, but that's because you did it for 1 week. If you did this for the rest of your life, if this was your actual diet, you would have to explain it eventually. There's no way you're going to sneak it, I don't eat gluten.
Yeah.
Especially when you go to the bar and it's like, I don't drink beer. You used to drink beer. I don't drink beer now.
I did have one little slip up. I will admit that.
What does that mean?
I had a beer. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you are. You're smiling.
I'm just thinking about how good it was. Honestly, it was amazing.
As far as I know. As far as I know. Because... as far as I know, I did not have gluten this week. But there could have been mystery gluten just filling up my colon.
Possibly.
So aside from the fact the initial grocery shopping is hard and it's difficult in social settings, what did you think of actually going gluten-free?
Honestly, I think the only thing I missed mainly was bread, because there's so many things where it's like, so many restaurants and places like have bread as a staple of like a lot of like diets and a lot of meals that are made. I shouldn't say diets. Diets is a weird way to phrase it.
You should say sandwiches because you're doing a sandwich. There's a lot of meals, like my steak and my, you know, it's a sandwich. Whatever you're eating that's like this with bread is a sandwich.
Well, like bread and then like things like noodles. I also missed a lot. That was really hard to just like.
So you missed everything. You literally listed like everything.
I know, which is very.
I missed gluten. The part that I didn't like about being gluten-free is that's what you just said.
Yeah. Yes. I like that was the most difficult part for me because it's just like there's no real replacement. Like you can have a gluten-free pizza. Nobody has gluten-free bread for sandwiches. At least none of the popular places.
Nate doesn't like being gluten-free because he likes gluten. So my feeling is I kind of liked it. And I think you're gonna, like, I feel like you're gonna judge me for that.
No, I kind of like it.
I kind of enjoyed it because by eliminating bread, I did eliminate my ability to go to restaurants, and restaurants are really bad for you. Like, you can't eat a salad at a restaurant without it being 1,000 calories. So to be like, everyone's going to get sandwiches, you're like, I'm gonna eat the lunch I packed because I can't have bread. So it's like, it keeps you responsible in ways you don't expect because you can't eat such a major thing. Like for me, the first week when I'm just counting calories, every single thing I have is like, I eat a tortilla with it. Well, I replaced that by having omelets instead of like a little burrito, and it was more filling and less calories. And I'm like, this is making me eat smarter because it turns out carbs have, and that's the thing, is it's not the gluten that bothers me. I think a low carb diet is it's so easy to make it low calorie. Like for somebody who only gets 1,200 calories, I would open up my Fitness Pal and I'd count my calories, and without even trying, I'd be at like 1,292. So I'm like just over what it recommends without trying. And I eat snacks, like I eat popcorn and I eat like the little rice chips and stuff, and I'm like, I'm snacking, I'm having nuts, I'm having like actual meals, and I'm not hungry, and I'm not trying to diet. So it's like without having just a low carb, I think it's just the low carb thing. Like I wouldn't be strict with the actual gluten if we weren't doing gluten-free. Like I wouldn't be like, well, I'm not allowed to use this soy sauce because it has gluten, like, you know, that sort of thing, like rolling my eyes at, you know, I'm like, it doesn't make me feel sick. So that's, and like, but not drinking beer, you know, you're cutting out 200 calories per beer. That's a lot of calories to just be like, well, I can't have that.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of accidental, like just, like you said, you don't really even have to try to make good decisions. You just accidentally do it, where it's just like, okay, instead of having a dish where I would normally have noodles with something, I replace it with broccoli.
Yeah. But like broccoli compared to noodles as far as calories, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to results and keeping your calories low, I don't think I would necessarily do strict gluten-free personally, just because, like if it's in, like you said, you had a meal that had soup mix, and the soup mix had gluten, so you couldn't use that soup mix, you had to find an alternative. As somebody who doesn't have a gluten allergy, I probably would have just used the soup mix, but if I tell myself I'm not going to have beer or bread or pasta, like the major gluten, for lack of a better phrase, if I told myself I was just not going to eat things that are like pure, like this is a gluten product on purpose, I would be like, that's a perfect diet to me right now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm never going to eat it, but like if I just did that for the rest of my life, was just like, you know, I'm not going to really eat bread, I'm going to try to focus on putting more vegetables in place of carbs, I'd be like, I thought I was going to hate this. I thought I was going to be like, this is the worst diet in the world, it's the dumbest thing, and, you know, people who do this don't know what they're talking about, and then I'm like, I mean, I don't feel like it made me feel, better gastrointestinally.
You didn't feel like it didn't detoxify you?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it did not make, like, I didn't sleep very well this week. And so, like, the whole, well, you're going to sleep in, like, I know we only did it for a week, so I don't think it influenced my sleep either way. But I'm not like, you know, week without gluten, I feel more energetic or anything like that. I'm like, no, none of that. But man, was it easy to just like live my life when it came to like, I have my groceries, I know what I'm going to eat, none of it has gluten, and none of it has that many calories. And then like if I feel like snacking, none of my snacks have that many calories. So even when I was hungry, I felt like it was safe to eat something extra without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
So I was never really hungry. Like, if just counted calories, I had a lot of gluten products because that's what I eat. I eat sandwiches or whatever. And I was hungry all the time. I don't know about you, but I was hungry all the time.
Yeah. I wasn't really hungry at all this week.
This week? Were you on the calorie counting?
Yeah, I was pretty hungry a couple of days.
Yeah, I wasn't. I think this week was fine. I wouldn't recommend it as you're probably feeling bad because gluten is bad for you, because I don't believe that that's the case. But whether you call it gluten-free and make that your goal, or just say, you know, I'm really going to cut as many carbs as possible and just leave, you know, rice behind, or quinoa, or whatever it is that like is your jam that's not just like white bread, I would say that it's actually a really great diet.
Yeah.
Like, it actually, if you're not just buying junk food, because the other thing is, I did just plan meals. I did buy snacks like popcorn and the rice cakes, but if you're gonna buy ice cream, you're not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what snacks don't have gluten, but like, if Cheetos don't have gluten, they might. Don't take my word on that, because I don't know what they're made from. They're a mystery snack. Potato chips, though, those are made from potatoes. There's probably gluten-free ones. I know there's gluten-free cookies, because that's what I didn't like. If you want to buy something that's gluten-free and it's in the gluten-free aisle and it's like, this is a cookie, it's like $5 a package, and you're $5 for cookies when the gluten ones are $2. Like, I saw pretzels. Pretzels were $5. You can buy pretzels that have, you know, regular gluten pretzels.
Yeah.
Are like $1. So when it costs 5 times as much, that's an example of, if I want pretzels and I'm not going to save calories by eating those pretzels, I'm going to buy the gluten because it's cheaper. If I'm going to eat it either way and the calories aren't going to save me anything, I'm going to buy the cheaper one. Like, I think the worst part about going gluten-free is it's more expensive. So, gluten-free, I'd give it a thumbs up.
Me too.
What did you think of T25? You did beta, I did gamma.
So, I found that I do like, I did a different Shanti program, which was Insanity. I did that for a month, and what I like about regimented and planned out exercises, you don't have to think about the next thing you're going to do. Like, say if you just let yourself loose into the gym and you're like just randomly walking over to machines, randomly pulling and pushing stuff, you're just kind of wandering around, not necessarily always engaging yourself in like getting that heartbeat going, but in like a planned out workout, you get that heart rate going, and you're always doing something to your benefit. One of the things I didn't like about it was that a lot of it is what I would say like high impact, a lot of jumping, doing stuff side to side, and that when you do a bunch of those focus exercises back to back, especially like 2 or 3 days in a row, that tends to put a lot of stress on like my shins, and I started to feel quite a bit of pain like afterwards, where I'm just like, this is kind of hurting, and then like I would have to then do some different the thing I liked, he would always have one person who's like, all right, this is like a low impact version of this exercise.
Modifier.
The modified. Mm-hmm. Which I would sometimes do that if I'm just like, I don't want to have to jump side to side, you know, in giant like kind of bounds, or anything that's like, or I'm like, that's not going to do well for my current state.
So part of the reason we've been doing this is so that we can have different viewpoints, and I completely disagree with you. I just completely, I'm like, high impact. I had foot surgery, and I can do this. And I did the gamma, which is supposed to be like the upgrade from the beta. So I'm like, I had foot surgery a year and a half ago. So like, if anything is high impact, I'm the first to know. Because I don't like jogging and stuff, because you have to land heavily on your feet. I feel like these exercises tend to be things that you can land softer if you know how to.
And that's probably also part of the thing I didn't also necessarily like, is like I feel like I couldn't do some of the moves correctly, and sometimes it's just like, all right, now do this slick move, where it's like you're like doing side to side, and like you have to make quick changes. And I'm not a coordinated person.
I'm not either.
I am just like a drunken baby, just no coordination. Like, and when you start telling me to move faster and pick it up, it's all of a sudden I just start.
You're confused.
Cranking and shaking. I'm just uncontrollable movements, and I'm like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? I don't know.
With cardio, or is it actually a problem with things that aren't cardio?
With like doing dual things, so like quick movement with like your feet, where like you do like
Could you give an example?
There's this one move where like you had to kind of, it would be like jump forward, jump backwards, jump forward, side, and it's like, I have a hard time doing that. Like, I have a hard time doing this. I have to physically think about patting my head and rubbing my stomach.
Physically think?
I have to physically think.
How does that work?
It is very much like...
What's physical thinking?
It's like, how do I do this? Like, I literally have to stare at my feet sometimes in order to do the moves correctly, where I'm like, backwards. It's...
Okay, well, I didn't have any of the problems you had at all, and I'm perfect in every way. The problem I have with routines is like, the first routine for this, there's only 5 workouts, so there's 6 days and then a stretch day. So one of them has to repeat.
Yeah.
And if you've already done the video, first of all, you can decide which ones you don't like, because there are 5 different videos, and for mine it was like pretty much a cardio one. The speed one is pretty much cardio. And then there's ripped, and then there's extreme, and then there's pyramid. And I could tell already that there were certain routines where if we did this for another week, I'd be like, I don't want to do pyramid. This is the day I'm going to skip entirely. And you don't really want a routine where you're like, I can already tell which ones I'm going to skip.
I don't like having to do repeated videos of workout routines where you have to see the same video multiple times.
Yeah.
Because you just get sick of it, or you're just, even if it's not like a bad workout, you're just at a certain point, you're just like kind of like, your focus tends to go away because you're just like, I've seen this already before.
Ooh, the other thing I didn't like is even within the video that I'm just watching like now, if I knew things were going to repeat, like I'd have to do them again, like the speed one. I think yours had a speed one too, right?
Yes.
So it's like you have to do it, and then you have to do it again for a shorter period, and then you have to do it again for a shorter period. You're like, I haven't even finished this one video, and I'm sick of these moves. Like, there are other ones where the whole video was a different move, so it's just different move, different move, different. I found those ones so much easier than ones where it's like, you're just stuck to, you know that the Spider-Man push-ups or whatever they call them are coming back around again, and you're already having something you're not looking forward to doing within the same video that you just started. Yeah. So I think the worst part is the repetition is actually uninspiring. You don't want to do it. And whatever you do for a workout has to be something that you have to want to do again. But I will say, as a workout, like, if you are going to do just the 90 days just to kickstart your weight loss, I think it's a good program. Because when we were walking, I think I said, like, my Fitbit would be at 94 beats per minute peak. This one, I could get my heart rate up until like 170. Which is, you have to take a break, you're working too hard, and you can burn, in a half hour, you can burn 200 to 300 calories, which doesn't sound like that much, but it's only a half hour of your time, you know, and that's in addition to whatever steps you do a day. So if you're already walking 5,000 steps naturally, and then you do this, I was sweating no matter, even if it was dumbbells, I was sweating no matter what I did.
Yeah.
By the end, I was sweating.
Yeah. One of the things I heard from doing exercises that have very short resting times is that once you get your heart rate into that zone and you kind of keep it there and you don't necessarily rest right away, you will be burning calories even after the workout is done. Because once you're doing those high impact, your heart just kind of goes up there and your body is still actively burning calories.
Well, you can see your heart rate won't go down. Like, you can do the, you know, the cool down.
Yeah.
By the time you're done cooling down, your heart rate isn't back to normal.
No.
It's still in like a cardio zone. So I think it's a really great workout to kickstart things, but I could not see myself doing it just on repeat until the day I die, because I would get so bored. And you have to mute it. You get sick of the songs, and you know what he's gonna say next. Yeah. I feel like if we did this for more than a week, if we did this for 2 or 3 weeks, I'd be quoting him by the end, which I didn't listen at all. I was going pure physical, like pure just watching the screen, and I'm playing pop music so I can get my second wind if a song comes up. But the fact that I'm like, so I can get my second wind within a 25-minute video kind of shows that you're watching the clock in the corner. I kind of wish there wasn't a clock in the corner, because I'd find myself watching it like, only 10 more minutes.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing with those workouts, because it's all just, you know, at a certain point when you're just tired and you're exhausted, you don't want to hear somebody tell you to step it up and push it harder, because you're already doing it harder. You're not in my living room. Don't tell me what to do, Sean T.
Hey, he's like, this is the thing where he puts his hands in, he's like, punch him! You're... I hate you!
See?
I think I like the diet better than the exercise, because I found the diet effortless.
Yeah.
Once I was done grocery shopping, having to go grocery shopping was way more expensive and way more difficult. But once it's in the house, you know what you can eat, and you have to stay within your bubble that is your house. But the workout was not my favorite.
Yeah, it's almost like compared to last week, the workout was more effortless. Not that you didn't have to actually take time to walk, but it was just not like you're not really engaging yourself mentally. You're kind of more, it's just...
You're saying last week was effortless.
Yeah, last week. But the diet was more like you have to actually sit there and count, where this week, the diet was actually more effortless, and the workout was actually more, you have to put a lot more effort into it.
That said, when I was behind on working out, I still felt like a half hour isn't that much time, so I can still fit in my schedule even on days where I want to tell myself I can't. I'm like, it's only a half hour, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that the time value was better than walking, because getting 1,000 steps at 9 p.m. is not gonna happen. Like, no, we missed it today. That's where you could technically still do the workout, you just don't want to, but it's only a half hour, and you did sweat. And you, at least, I don't know about yours, but mine did require dumbbells.
Mine did require dumbbells.
Yeah, so I actually felt if I kept it up that at least I would have been toned.
Yeah.
If I did the full 90 days, I feel at the end I'd be pretty sexy.
Yeah.
So I like the diet more than the exercise, but I think the exercise is a good kickstart. I don't think it's a good lifestyle exercise that you're going to do infinitely. You're probably going to want to do something that you enjoy more.
Yeah, it's definitely the big problem of those workout videos. It's just something where at a certain point you're just going to tune out and just not want to do it.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on T25?
I'll give it a meh.
Thumbs sideways.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for a period, but slowly turning down. Not quite down, though. I would never say, like, oh, this is terrible. Because you will see results if you do it. It's just...
you're just mentally checked out.
Yeah, I think it's a program that would be fun to achieve because it is a 90-day. So if you went from alpha to gamma, you would feel a sense of achievement. But I think our overall goal is to find something that you can say, yeah, I could see myself staying with this.
Yeah.
And I would do the 90 days and then be like, what's next?
Yeah.
I could see myself not going gluten-free, but going low carb.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see that just being my diet because it was so easy. Just be like, I don't really need bread.
Yeah, I think.
And bread goes bad.
I think one of the things I'm honestly gonna try and do is just do no or low carb at home, and then maybe carbs outside if there's no other option among peers.
Yeah, to be social.
Yeah.
Some people are social drinkers. We're social carbo loaders. Social carbo loaders.
Yeah.
I'll eat the spaghetti because everybody else is eating spaghetti.
Or if it's free.
That said, my book of results. Did you have any results?
I did have some results. Now, part of the thing is, I think I did lose weight. Mm-hmm. Nothing really much in terms of measurements. But I did lose weight, but I think a lot of it is water weight. Because I'm almost shocked at how much weight I lost, because it's kind of scary. Because I went down 7 pounds.
Oh my god!
Yeah. It's like, that's not it. Like, I almost was like, this is not real. Oh,
I'm dying! That's insane. And that makes it seem even better. Do you think that was the combination?
I think it was definitely because I was doing less bad choices in terms of meal-wise, and then...
No beer.
And then doubling down also for, just exercise. So it was definitely a combo effort. I don't think any one of them just achieved it. It was definitely a combo effort of just good diet and then also just exercise that really got you working.
So, what you're telling me is you did the Parks and Rec Andy diet, you cut beer, and you lost all the weight.
Yeah.
And so cutting beer is the actual answer. Case closed. I didn't have that dramatic of results, but I have to say that I wasn't that good with the exercises. I think I did 4 days instead of 6. Because I actually had a life, and you think to yourself, I can fit a half hour, but not if you go up directly after work and stay up till midnight. Then you cannot find time to exercise. I barely found time to sleep on some days. But that said, that makes me even more convinced that gluten-free was the deal, because I still lost 2 pounds without trying, and that's not 7 pounds, but that is, like, they say you should lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, or 1% of your body weight, and for me 1% would be like 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So I lost more than I should without even trying. Like, it's the fact that I didn't feel like I was trying that's so impressive to me. Yeah. Is you're just, I've always found it to be like calorie counting and a death grip on, look, I am going to lose weight, I'm going to count everything I eat, and I'm going to, oh, I can't eat more than this. I didn't feel like I had to count my calories at all. I just ate what I wanted to eat. It just was all gluten-free, so it is so effortless.
Yeah, but I'll say I still enjoyed this week.
I was gonna do all of the workouts because technically, I was supposed to do one today because I skipped a different day, which normally this day would be our rest day. But somebody decided that we were gonna record our video earlier, so he ruined my progress and he's a bad influence.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. I already lost 2 pounds. Woo woo.
Good job.
my favorite exercise program, but definitely cut the carbs. Because I don't think it can be all water weight, especially because it's our second week of dieting. Usually you see that in the first week. And it's been consistent. Like, I lost that 2 pounds by Wednesday, and it's just stayed off. So every time I weigh myself, it's like, it's still gone. Because, you know, when it's water weight, you'll fluctuate. But it's the same in the morning and the evening. Because usually when you weigh yourself in the morning, you weigh less for whatever reason. The evening, I don't know if you've ever done that, but by the evening, you've gained like 3 pounds. I've been the same weight all of the time, and it's always 2 pounds less. So I'm like, this worked, and I got to eat. And I was like,
yeah.
I ate a whole bag of that Smart popcorn.
Went all out.
Well, I ran out of it. I didn't eat a bag a day. I ate it over the course of a week.
That was a terrible laugh.
I ate one of those Halo Tops, the like diet ice cream for one of my meals, because they're like 300 calories for a pint of ice cream. So it's got protein in it. It was one of my meals. Like, this doesn't have gluten. It's ice cream. I was so happy. So this is. I felt like last week when we counted calories and we just went walking. It felt very much like calorie counting was the ticket.
Yeah.
But it was a sad ticket to not even the economy class. It was like you get to sit with the cargo. You barely made it on this train. And it was like, this is not fun so far. And this week I'm like, I lost weight. So, I really liked being gluten-free, and I thought you were going to judge me for it, because I'm like, the one thing I will say, which I said to you very early in our diet, is if you go gluten-free, pay attention to your fiber intake, or you will regret it. And with that, what are we doing next week?
So next week, for our diets, we are going to be doing a liquid-based diet for 2 of our meals each day. So that can either be, you know, breakfast and lunch, lunch and dinner, or dinner and breakfast, you know, with one form of a solid meal, but no snacking in between.
And we've already confirmed, and by we, I mean I asked him and tried to convince him, and there was a whole debate, that ice cream is unfortunately not a liquid, and milkshakes are not an appropriate diet choice. So our liquid meals are up to us in a sense. I'm probably going to do protein shakes because I think that juice is just a whole lot of sugar, and green juice, I'm just not ready for that kind of diet commitment. Are you going to be green juicing?
I will be green juicing. I did try juicing at one point, but juicing tends, especially if you're making it yourself, it tends to be very messy, so I stopped doing it.
I predict if you do your green juice, you will have the opposite of a fiber issue. And I look forward to hearing about that. So, we are going
to... Could always watch.
I will pass for now. So we are going to do a partially liquid diet with either juice of some variety or protein shakes. It's up to us, but it's going to be liquid for 2 out of 3 meals without snacking. And for exercise, we've just decided that since we still have the bulk minus 9 pounds over here, we're gonna do body weight exercises because we still have some body weight to work it with.
Yeah.
You know, might as well do the push-ups while you still have something to push up.
Yeah.
Push it.
More resistance.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more resistance. So we're gonna stick to body weight exercises. That means things like squats, push-ups, tricep dips maybe.
Sit-ups.
Sit-ups.
Yeah.
You know, we'll figure out how we want to tackle that individually, because that's how you show the viewpoints of different people, is by not having them agree or influence one another. I will say that for this week I lost 2 pounds, but my measurements went up in places and down in others, so anyways, liquid diet, body weight exercises, week 3, we'll be checking in. Until next time, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we upload a new video.
Comment down below if you have any suggestions on any new exercises or diet plans you'd like to see us try.
Until next time.